and won our wars, preserved the peace, and deterred attack on America by those who would do us harm. Their military service and their sacrifices won and preserved America's freedom. Today, we Americans enjoy a good life with liberty and justice for all, and we are free to pursue happiness because our veterans did their duty to America. Veterans are a national treasure, and America has always made an effort to care for her veterans. In the early days of the Republic, there were pensions and bonuses, and land was granted to our veterans to homestead. However, for the most part, these efforts were haphazard. When the Civil War ended, a Veterans Bureau was established to better serve the needs of our Civil War veterans. The Veterans Bureau and its services grew and improved through the years, and what started out as a bureau became today's Department of Veterans Affairs. The provision of service and medical care for Americans' veterans has come a long way over the years. The GI Bill and its successors, benefits for disabled veterans, veterans hospitals and clinics, and now vet centers like the one we dedicate here in Melbourne today, represent services available to deserving veterans. And I would note for our political leadership here, it is the responsibility of Congress to assure adequate funding is provided to the Department of Veterans Affairs. Now, our military today are all volunteers. They serve America well. They do their duty as they fight the war on terror. And this brings me to the fact that America is at war today. Whoops, let me rephrase that. America is not at war today. America's armed forces are at war today. America is at the wall. Right. The soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen serving in our armed forces today are the only Americans making any sacrifice in this war on terror. Our military and their families, they alone bear the brunt of this war. Now, it wasn't always this way. Look back to World War II, which began on December 7th, 1941, the Day of Infamy. Terror and brutality were the hallmark of the Nazi, fascist, and imperialist regimes of the Axis powers. Between them, they sought to conquer and subjugate the world. The world. To conquer and subjugate the world. Less than 4 years after the surprise attack on Pearl Harbor, we had won World War II. This country of ours went on a total war footing, built the greatest armed force the world has ever seen, and forced Nazi, fascist, and imperial Japan to surrender unconditionally. Today, our military once again is fighting in distant lands, fighting Islamist terrorists on their home turf in the global war on terror. A war into which we were catapulted nearly 7 years ago by the brutal attacks of 9/11 and the cold-blooded murder of 3,000 Americans. Again, terror and brutality are the hallmarks of our enemy. And like World War II, this is a war we must win. The Islamist terrorists have struck our homeland once, and when it suits them, will make every effort to do so again. Now, we're not at war with the Muslim world. Let's be clear about that. We are at war with radical Islamists and their perverted brand of Islam. Those Sunni Islamists who follow or are affiliated with Al-Qaeda. And those Shiite Islamists who are armed, trained, and directed by Iran. They are fanatical jihadists who believe it is their holy duty to conquer and subjugate the world. Yes, conquer and subjugate the world. And impose Islamic law called Sharia on all countries and all peoples in the world. These radical Islamists correctly see the United States as the only serious obstacle to achieving their goals. We are the great Satan, the prime enemy. As Osama bin Laden so clearly put it in 2001, quote, "It is the duty of all Muslims to kill Americans, citizens, civilian or military, and their allies everywhere." Now, he and his deputy, al-Zawahiri, have reinforced these words on a regular basis ever since. Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, president of Iran, recently told an audience, quote, "We must prepare to rule the world," unquote. The principal advisor of the supreme Iranian leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who incidentally is Ahmadinejad's boss, put it this way: "We have a strategy drawn up for the destruction of Anglo-Saxon civilization." Now, I don't see how it can get any plainer than that. This is a global war that has been thrust upon us. This is not a clash of civilizations. It is a clash between those who wish to live in the 21st century and those who would drive us back into the Dark Ages. Doing okay? The Dark Ages and Sharia are one and the same. So what is the Sharia that the Islamist terrorists would impose on conquered peoples? It is Islamic law, direct from the Quran. Afghanistan, under the Taliban, provides us a classic example of rule by Sharia. Iran and Saudi Arabia are both governed by Sharia. Under Sharia, every woman, Vice Mayor, must belong to some man as absolute property. Women cannot leave their home without a male member escort. Women must be fully covered outside the home, can't drive a car, are not fit subjects for education, and must obey their male master without question. Under Sharia, infidels, that is, a person who is not a Muslim, and that's most of us here, are classified as protected subjects, or dhimmis. Dhimmis have no legal rights and must subject themselves to the will and the whims of their Muslim masters. Punishment for breaking Sharia is swift and brutal. Sharia is truly a return to the Dark Ages. Now, like World War II, this war on terror is a two-front war. And like World War II, we must win on both fronts. The Middle East is the spawning ground